now talking to Will Franks of the Wireless IoT Forum. Will, tell us a little bit about what the forum does.
So the forum is, at this stage, the early stage of the forum, we're focusing on what's called low power wide area networks. And those are connecting things outside the home at some distance. So if you imagine like cellular as today, mobile phones, but it's things, not people. What we're focusing on is trying to reduce the fragmentation in this particular marketplace because there are lots of proprietary standards, so to speak, which have grown up around in this area. And what we think that really needs to happen is build a very strong ecosystem of suppliers within this area so that we have a strong supply chain and we legitimize the market for these types of technologies. If we can do that, then we've got a really solid framework in which these wonderful new apps for the future can use, and not because at the moment they're just very confused as to quite what to use.
But hold on a minute, Will. There's a new forum or a new SIG and a new alliance appearing every week or so, it seems, more than once a week sometimes. Why do we need another forum?
Which is a very good question. And the reason is because what we're trying to do is reduce the number. That's what we need to do to reduce the fragmentation. So this sits above quite a number of existing activities in this area with the goal of pulling these together. Yes, we still need to have standard setting bodies and there will be a whole set of those. But if we can bring these together so that we work together rather than opposing each other, then we reduce that fragmentation and we create a strong market.
Okay. Well, who's behind all this? I did hear that there was a connection with the Weightless Special Interest Group, and I believe one of their execs is part of your organisation as well. But who else is involved and who's pushing this forward?
Well, it has, yes, one of the execs, William Webb, who is part of Weightless, is the chief executive of this new forum. They actually are not attached. Actually, this forum really will do away with the need for Weightless in many senses, just as it would other forums as well, similar ones. But so, or certainly put it into a bracket where its focus is on a standardization activity rather than the building of the ecosystem and all the use cases which this forum will focus on. Others involved, I can't go through the individual companies because we are going to do that when we actually have our first plenary meeting, but that will come out pretty soon. And there are big names. There are big names involved with it, both from the mobile operator side and also the more traditional service providers, the fixed line service providers, as well as equipment guys in there and silicon guys. So pretty much every layer of the ecosystem is represented.
So why do you think this particular forum will be successful, and if it's not, what will have prevented you from being successful?
We have in the past, in fact I started in 2007 a forum called the Femto Forum, which later became the Small Cells Forum, and this is around small cells which are all over the place now, people's homes, in enterprises, etc. The purpose of doing that was to do exactly what I've described is for this forum, and it's a very successful model. We built that up to be about 150, 200 companies representing over half the mobile phone users in the world through the networks, the mobile operators involved in it. And it has been a very good, perfect body for bringing together this ecosystem and reducing the fragmentation and driving standards through standards bodies to ensure that we as competitors in that case actually work together in a way that as I say, reduce that and remove that fragmentation. So we have a very good model which we can work on and blueprint which we use for this new forum.
And what's the reaction from the other alliances and so on that you're working alongside?
Well, the ones from, say, the Weightless guys are very positive. They see actually there is a need for this to happen. And from the other guys, we're in early discussions with others at the moment.
It would be reasonable to think that the mobile network operators were fairly important in this scenario. Is it all about them, or who else is who else are the key players?
The mobile operators are one part of this. This is very different to cellular, where mobile operators effectively had a monopoly controlling stake on this because they had licensed spectrum. Whereas this can be in licensed spectrum, it also can be in unlicensed spectrum, which means that pretty much anyone can roll out an IoT wireless network across the country, across the world if they wanted to. There are companies who are already doing that, and you do it without the need for a license. So it means that the non-traditional telcos, and that could be a startup, or it could be a fixed line provider, or even an apps company. Anybody could roll out one of these networks. So it's going to significantly change the dynamics of this marketplace compared to cellular.
And is this sitting comfortably with the traditional MNOs?
I think they understand this, and they also understand their own strengths. So I think it will be tough for them because of price pressures. But then again, they also have an existing infrastructure which they can build on top of. But it will be tough for them, yes.
Okay, well, good luck. Thank you for that very much, Rob. Hope it goes well.
Thank you.